Any real reporter abides by a code of journalistic ethics. One of the oldest and largest organizations devoted to protecting the integrity of the trade of journalism is the Society of Professional Journalists, which was established in 1909. I'm going to be referring to the SPJ's Code of Ethics throughout this video, as Nathan Stolpman's violation of this Code of Ethics is rampant. For example, it is unethical to take private correspondence and arrogantly publish it without permission, knowing that doing so to pander to the luridly curious will result in discomfort for the person who shared that information in confidence. The Code of the Ethics state this, quote, "Avoid surreptitious methods of gathering information. Realize that private people have a greater right to control information about themselves than public figures and others who seek power, influence, or attention. Weigh the consequences of publishing or broadcasting personal information. Recognize that legal access to information differs from an ethical justification to publish or broadcast. Balance the public's need for information against potential harm or discomfort. Pursuit of the news is not a license for arrogance or undue intrusiveness. Avoid pandering to lurid curiosity, even if others do." Nathan asked me some questions privately, and I agreed to share some information with him because I had access to material that he didn't have. I specifically told him, however, that I was concerned about him publishing what I was going to show him without my permission. But he did it anyway. Nathan Stolpman took some of our private email correspondence this week, and he published it without my permission. He published it out of context, and he did it for the purpose of smearing me. He has repeatedly published that correspondence completely out of context in videos and also on Twitter, mischaracterizing our conversation in order to enhance the power of his smear job. Well, when one party breaks confidence and publishes private email correspondence, then the other party is no longer bound by any moral or ethical constraints to keep the rest of the information held in confidence. So, I am going to share with you all Nathan Stolpman's email correspondence to me, and you are going to see the full story. I wish I didn't need to do this, but after being repeatedly slandered, I have the right to set the record straight, and I think you will be very interested in what the truth really is. It all began early when Nathan Stolpman's channel was just beginning to really accelerate in growth, and he had gotten into t-shirt sales to make money. Nathan and his wife Katie were sending out their t-shirts to prominent YouTubers, most if not all of whom gave Nathan a shout out on their channels to help to advertise his t-shirts for free. Nathan first contacted me on May 16th of 2018. This is what he wrote. "Jake, my wife and I are big fans of your show, and we'd really like to send you one of our t-shirts. If that's okay, could I get your t-shirt size and a shipping address? Love the work you're doing. Nathan." Well, because of the high volume of emails that I was receiving daily at the time, I missed Nathan's message and I didn't immediately respond. So to try and get my attention about the t-shirts, because he really wanted me to promote his t-shirts, he followed up 3 days later on the 19th by sending me a $10 PayPal donation with this message. Quote, "I played a long clip from your show about the Trump-Rothschild connection. Wanted to thank you for all of the hard work and great research. I also want to send you a t-shirt, so check your email. Cheers, Nathan," from Lift the Veil. I noticed Nathan's PayPal message 3 days later on May 22nd. After finding his original email and reading it, I then wrote back to him expressing that I would be glad to advertise his t-shirts for him. I wrote this: "Hey there, Nathan. I'm sorry I didn't catch your message sooner. That was generous of you to make a PayPal donation, but I feel guilty taking it. From one video creator to another, I know how tight things can be, but I really do appreciate it. And I'd be glad to show off a shirt from you on my channel. Size extra large if you've got it, or large. You can send it to the P.O. Box address below. Address it to Jake Morphonius or to Blackstone, either way. I've watched a number of your videos and I enjoy the understated manner in which you deliver some pretty heavy content. And I'm a cat lover, so I'm always glad to see Doshi co-hosting the show with you. Talk to you again, bro. Jake." I sent a follow-up message saying, "Oh, and I forgot to convey my appreciation to your wife as well." About a week later, I received the 2 shirts and advertised them to my audience for Nathan, my audience being considerably larger than his, and I helped him to get more exposure. I showed off the 2 shirts on my show on June 5th, and I encouraged my audience to go check out his shirts and subscribe to his YouTube channel. I helped Nathan get a lot of subscribers. I then wrote to him this: "Nathan, thanks again for the shirts. I gave your channel a shout out in today's video. Keep up the good work, bro. Say hello to your wife for me and toss Doshi a little catnip in my name, Jake." Over 10,000 people watched my advertisement for Nathan's products, and he later told me that my advertisement had generated some t-shirt sales for him. That same day, Nathan wrote back this: "Awesome. We're about to watch your video. My wife loves your channel and Doshi will be excited somebody famous is watching his show. Have you ever thought about doing t-shirts? Nathan." And there it is. This is what Nathan and Katie were really after. I had a large audience, and they saw an opportunity to use me to make money for them by helping them to sell t-shirts. They wanted to use me to access my fan base and sell t-shirts to my audience. Well, here's what I wrote back to Nathan. I said, "I don't know much about doing t-shirts, though it sounds like a good idea. Maybe I can call you sometime when you've got 15 minutes or so and you can tell me about it." I gave him my phone number and we arranged a time for me to call. After Nathan and Katie watched my video, he wrote a follow-up email. He said, "We just watched your video and are blown away. That is the best advertising we've ever had. Maybe we can talk tomorrow and we can make sure to cover merchandising opportunities. I can give you a call before I go live tomorrow if that works for you, around noon California time. Otherwise, I wrap up around 4 p.m. and can talk after that. Thanks again for the epic shout out." When I spoke to Nathan by phone the next day, he proposed a business venture where he and Katie would do screen printing of Blackstone t-shirts. He said I could advertise the t-shirts to my audience, they would fill the orders, and they would give me a small cut of the profit while, of course, keeping the majority of it for themselves. Well, I told Nathan that while I appreciated the offer, I had already been looking at doing my own t-shirts through my own online store. And here is proof of that. As you can see from this email, I originally set up my Blackstone Intelligence store on Shopify back in January on the 27th of 2018, which was nearly 5 months before Nathan and Katie asked me to join them in their t-shirt business. As I told Nathan in our phone call, I had plans to sell shirts all on my own, but I was uncertain as to whether or not I wanted to have the shirts pre-printed, as they were doing, or if I wanted to use the print-on-demand option. That was why I spoke to him on the phone. Nathan pressed the matter. He asked if he could send me a mock-up of a t-shirt design that they could sell for me anyway. So I said, sure, you're welcome to send that to me and I'll look at it. But they knew that I already was working on selling t-shirts on my own. Still, they saw an opportunity to use me to make money off of the Blackstone audience. On June 20th, Nathan continued to pursue me, asking me to come on his show. He said, "You're doing great work as usual. People are definitely a little funny about this immigration issue, so we were laughing hearing you go through your comments. I guess funny is the wrong word, but there are some interesting options out there. Interesting opinions out there. Would you like to do a live interview on my show? I think people would love to see you do an interview, and a lot of people in my audience are already big fans of yours. Let me know what you think. I could have you on any time and would just want a few days to be able to promote it. Cheers, Nathan." So I did the interview for him, again encouraging my viewers to subscribe to his channel to help him grow it.
You are tuned in for an exciting show today, and you're glad you tuned in this early to be able to get the whole thing. I have on my show right now, believe it or not, I hardly do, is Jake Morphonios from Blackstone Intelligence. I'm going to do my best to give you an introduction, and we're going to explore a little bit more about Jake Morphonios. Jake Morphonios on his channel investigates things like Donald Trump's connections to the Rothschilds through his White House cabinet, Israel quite a bit, Zionism quite a bit, end times, biblical type things on his channel, and he pretty much, you could say that if you were to bring up any historical topic with Jake, he would probably be able to have a pretty interesting conversation with you. I think that's what people get the feeling of looking at his channel. So
Nathan continued over time to email me, asking me questions on how to do certain things, and I was always willing to help Nathan out. I had been secretly glad, though, that Nathan and Katie had not pursued the t-shirt issue with me further. Among my concerns was that if things ever did go bad between us, or if his channel or mine ever got shut down and he was stuck with an inventory of Blackstone shirts, that could cause some problems. I had also turned down other people, other than Nathan and Katie, who had sent me mock-ups and samples of other Blackstone branded merchandise, things such as caps and stickers. I kindly turned down all of those offers as well, again for the same reason. I know how fickle people can be, and I prefer to maintain control over my own brand. So I continued with my existing plans to sell t-shirts through my own store. As you can see in this invoice, I paid to upgrade my store on July 24th, 2018, and the next day I publicly launched it. Unfortunately, Nathan and Katie continued to pursue me with their t-shirt business idea, even though I had made my position clear. Nathan and Katie pitched their business proposal to me on June 6th. The fact that they didn't contact me again about this business venture for almost 2 months demonstrates that they did understand that I was not interested into going into business with them. It was only 2 months later, just 4 days after I had publicly launched my own store, that they resumed trying to get me to go into business with them. Here is what Nathan sent to me on July 28th. My wife worked up a draft of a few t-shirt designs for Blackstone Intel. Let us know what you think. And here are the mock-ups. I appreciate their interest in merchandising my brand, but again, I preferred not to have other people making the majority of the profit off of my brand. On August 7th, Nathan contacted me again about the t-shirts, writing, "Jake, I just wanted to make sure you got this email." At this point, I wouldn't say that Nathan was being a nuisance, but it had become clear that Nathan's primary interest in me all along was this business opportunity to help him and Katie make money. I felt that it had been quite disingenuous for Nathan to act nice to me in order to gain my friendship when his real motivation was clearly to profit off of my Blackstone channel. Perhaps I had been mistaken in letting Nathan press the issue for as long as I did, but I felt that I had made my position clear in our phone call. I already had a public store of my own. It seemed very pushy to me that they would continue trying to get me to let them profit off of my brand name when I had said I was not interested and had already launched my own store. As you can see from my email box, when I would not go along with Nathan's t-shirt business idea, he stopped speaking to me completely. I was very disappointed by Nathan's behavior because I valued friendship over business ventures. Even though I was unwilling to pursue his money-making plan, I still continued to show kindness toward him. I even took his Russian bot t-shirt with me to Palestine, and I took photos of myself wearing it there to help advertise his t-shirts for him on my channel. I helped to promote his shirt on my Twitter feed and in multiple YouTube videos.
I'm tempted to use this for my screenshot. What do you guys think? What? I can't show that. It's funny. It's funny. It's fan art though. More, more problems. Oh man. I'd love to use that for my title screen.
Nathan Stolpman is a man who has no integrity and no personal honor. Have you ever seen anyone stab another man in the back as dishonorably as what Nathan Stolpman has done to me? I understand that he got his feelings hurt because I wouldn't let him and his wife use me to make money off of my Blackstone audience. But I continued to show kindness and friendship toward those people, even though they weren't speaking to me anymore. I promoted their shirts in Palestine as a gesture of kindness, and in response, they have not only shown incredible incivility, but they have actively tried to mobilize their audience against me, to savagely attack me in a very personal way. I do have deep feelings of reverence for Jesus Christ. For Nathan and Katie to mock my faith and purposely try to use my faith to turn their audience into a savage troll army is unconscionable. Take a look at the harassment that Nathan and Katie have generated against me. I filtered my recent comments by the search term Mormon. Since Nathan and Katie started making videos to mock and ridicule my faith, I have received over 300 cruel comments from people who were following Nathan and Katie's lead. Let me read the most recent one to you that was posted by a troll right after Nathan had made his anti-Mormon video to attack me. Brock Still writes, "Listen to me, hear me out. Jake Morphonios is a fraud. Before you write this guy off, just give me a minute. I always suspected something was off about this guy, this Mormon do-gooder, with this holy and homely persona that somehow happens to have all these global contacts exactly wherever something happens to be going down. He appears to be on a quest for truth and fact, and for a while I bought into his shtick, his act. This a-hole is good. He might have been the best I've ever seen, but hearing him coming out defending the fake families of Sandy Hook without so much as an investigation, and then listening to his spiel on Pizzagate as he contradicted things I have heard him say, we may not know the truth, but we all know Sandy Hook was a hoax and the official narrative was a lie. To hear Jake supporting this lie was like hearing your grandmother talk about her favorite porn flick. Jake is an informant for the feds, and he may even be a Freemason." If any of you watching this video had any doubt about the personal character and integrity of Nathan Stolpman, I hope that you can see now what I'm saying about what kind of human being he is, about what kind of heart he has. I hope you will unsubscribe from his channel as a statement against this kind of treatment of other people. And I hope you'll encourage others to unsubscribe from his channel as well. This is exactly the kind of depraved behavior that caused me to get off the bench and go stand in solidarity with the Sandy Hook parents who have been enduring this kind of abuse for nearly 7 years already. I don't care if anyone's pet conspiracy theory preference happens to be one thing or another. Society is losing its moral foundation, and people like Wolfgang Halbig and Nathan Stolpman are leading people like cattle further down this path of incivility, while destroying the truth community in the process, while hiding behind their dishonest claims of simply engaging in free speech. The evidence that Nathan Stolpman has caused damage to my reputation is extremely clear. He's done it with malicious intent, and he and Katie are going to be paying for their defamation in court. That August 7th email was the last time that Nathan contacted me for more than 7 months. It was suddenly, after I started talking about Sandy Hook, that he started his slanderous campaign against me in March of 2019. Nathan Stolpman is not being honest with you all about the reasons that he and Katie are attacking me. They say that it's because they disagree with my positions on various truther issues. But the fact is, they are angry that I didn't go into business with them. The attacks have been extremely personal and nasty. In just a few days, Nathan did at least 3 hit pieces on me on his YouTube channel. He did at least 8 hit pieces on me on his Twitch account, to say nothing of all of the Twitter messages. And all of those attacks followed what started this whole thing out, which was Nathan showing up out of the blue and trolling me during a live stream as I was talking about my struggle with the loss of one of my children. Folks, it was simply beyond the pale for Nathan to attack me publicly, live, while I was talking about my child and asking for people to stop harassing other parents who have also lost children. Yes, I called Nathan out for his nasty trolling in that show, and in a few minutes I'm going to show you the bigger picture of why I called him out. Nathan has repeatedly shown a single clip of me chastening him, but he has not shown you why I did it. For many of you, when you see the full story in its proper context, you'll see that Nathan Stolpman wasn't just being insensitive, he was being cruel. And his cruel behavior has continued. In every video, he tells his audience that he's just asking questions like any real reporter would do. But when you look at the nature of his vicious attacks against me and the mean-spirited lies that his wife posts in the chat room while he is slandering me on video, you will see that reporting is the farthest description from what Nathan is actually doing. Nathan and Katie have appealed to the basest nature of his audience. He has repeatedly singled out my religious faith and attacked it, despite my personal religion having absolutely nothing to do with anything. If you read the comments from Nathan's audience, many of them have picked up on his religious bigotry and they have begun repeating it. So I have been bombarded this week with intense religious bigotry, with hate-filled messages mocking me for which church I choose to go to. Nathan even started attacking me in concert with some of the worst, most repugnant of internet trolls, attacking my religious faith. So let me say this for the record. I'm a Christian. I believe the Holy Bible is the Word of God. I believe that Jesus Christ is my personal Savior. I believe that Jesus was born of the Virgin Mary, that he lived a perfect, sinless life. I believe that Jesus spent his life loving others, healing the sick, raising the dead, forgiving sins. I believe that Jesus died on the cross to pay for my sins, and that he was resurrected on the 3rd day. Today he reigns in heaven, and all men will be accountable to him in the next life. I believe that there is no other name by which man may be saved. Nothing else matters to me when it comes to my religious faith. What church I go to is irrelevant. My church does not save me. My faith in Jesus Christ does. The personal theories or interpretations of doctrine that some Mormon has had 200 years ago is completely irrelevant to my personal relationship with my Savior. The beliefs or ideas of my church leaders have nothing to do with my personal relationship with Jesus. I don't force my beliefs on anyone in my videos, and you can verify this by looking at my video archive. But for all those like Nathan who feel justified in attacking me for my Christian beliefs, I would remind you that it is Nathan himself who has repeatedly suggested that we stick to the issues. Of course, in Nathan's case, his example demonstrates that those are just hollow words.
Oh, he was in there as October Rains. Monograph was in there as October Rains, one of his socks. He has multiple personalities, for sure. Here's Monograph on Twitter. Jake's tweeting out stuff about Palestine and stuff. And then Monograph said, oh, look at this. Annie this is funny. Thank you for addressing this Mormon Phonios operative. Mormon Phonios. That's funny. Somebody's already pointed
Some people wonder why I stand up for Muslims and why I stand up for Jews, even though I'm staunchly anti-Zionist. Well, part of the reason is that I know what it feels like to be mistreated because of my religious faith, and I empathize with the Muslims or the Jews who are stereotyped and subjected to constant harassment and religious bigotry. Nathan Stolpman and Katie mocking my religious faith isn't about debating Sandy Hook. It's a mean-spirited and nasty attempt to take advantage of the passions of your followers and get them to join in with you in trying to humiliate and degrade me in any way possible. People attack things like a person's religious faith when they can't defeat the person on the substance of their arguments. Shame on you, Nathan. And on any of you who feel justified in attacking me or anyone else for our religious preferences. It's bigotry, pure and simple. And these personal attacks really speak to the character of Nathan and Katie Stolpman.